Hi readers! To make sure you're ready for a reading workshop today, please get your reading notebook, a pencil, and some post-it notes, because you might be doing some jotting about your ideas as you read today. All right, we are diving into a new unit on informational texts, and we are really shifting gears because we've been focused on reading realistic fiction, but now we're going to get into some nonfiction work. So before we start our mini lesson, let's answer this question. How are informational texts different from the fictional texts we have been reading? So we're going to pause and think about your answers to this question. How do informational texts and fictional texts compare? You might use one of these sentence stems to help you. Informational texts are blank, while fictional texts are. Fictional texts have blank. The purpose of an informational text is to. All right, so let's pause and then we will discuss. All right, so like we talked about, informational text is a type of nonfiction writing that is intended to inform or teach. So our fictional stories that we've been reading have plots, characters, settings, and informational texts really have the purpose of presenting you with new information that you can learn from. All right, so for our mini lesson today, our content objective is that we can use what we know is important about the nonfiction genre to read informational texts. And our language objective, how we're going to get there, is by writing about important aspects of informational text on a Google form. So today we're going to read and we are going to write. All right, so nonfiction readers know it pays off to think about certain aspects of informational texts. So we know that it's important to pay attention to main ideas and their supports. So for the main idea, we ask ourselves, what is this text really about? And how do we know that? We can name some supports or some key details. We also know it's important to pay attention to text structures, whether it's chronological, cause and effect, problem and solution, or compare and contrast. It's also important to notice how parts of the text fit together. So we're going to look at an article called Lessons from the Deep, which is adapted from a text by Anna Gratz-Cockrell. And right away, I'm noticing different text parts. So I see our main running text here. I see a title and I see a picture. So our question is, how does this fit together? I'm going to start with our title. So we have Lessons from the Deep. I'm going to read this first paragraph to see if that fits with the title. Of all the strange and wonderful creatures that live in the ocean, one unique creature stands out above the rest. It is the amazing octopus. There are over 300 different types of octopus, and they can be found in every ocean in the world. So how does this fit with our title? So our title is Lessons from the Deep, and that's making me think that octopus must live deep in the ocean. But this part of the text doesn't give any information about that. So it doesn't quite fit with it. So we'll have to read on more to see how that connects. Now our picture here is of an octopus. So I think this photo has the intent to help us visualize as we are reading. All right, so that's just one part. Now let's reread this paragraph and think about main ideas and their supports. And I'm going to go ahead and mark up the text thinking about the main ideas using Cami. All right. So out of all the strange and wonderful creatures that live in the ocean, one unique creature stands out above the rest. It is the amazing octopus. There are over 300 different types of octopus, and they can be found in every ocean in the world. Now, to think about main ideas, I'm going to ask myself, what is this text really about? Can I say it's really about octopus? I can, but that's just the topic. So now I'm going to try to extend this into a main idea by saying, so what? What about the octopus is this trying to teach? I'm going to extend that to a sentence. So a main idea might be that octopus are unique creatures. I'll move this over so we can see it better. Let's see. I'll put it up here. So they're unique creatures. So that could be a main idea, and we'll read on to see if the details fit with it. But let me see why I think these this would be a main idea. So I see a pop-out sentence that says one unique creature stands out above the rest. So that gives me a clue that that could be a main idea. I see some words that connect to it, like strange. I made a mistake there, but strange, wonderful, amazing, different. So those words all make me think that this could be a main idea, that octopus are unique creatures. All right. Now let's think about text structure. I think this paragraph, it's too early to notice the text structure, but as we read on, we will see what kind of text structure the author chose and why they picked that. All right, so do you see the work we just did? We looked at different pieces of nonfiction text that we know it pays off to pay attention to and think about. We asked ourselves how the different parts of the text fit together. We noticed main ideas and their supports, and we know that as we read forward, we're going to think about our text structure. So now it is your turn. You are going to go to Reading on Google Classroom and open up a smorgasbord that has nonfiction texts for you to choose from. You're going to do some book shopping and find a book or article to read today. And as you read, you're going to notice main ideas, text structures, and how pieces of the text fit together. You might jot this down on a sticky note or in your reading notebook. You're going to be ready to write about your reading on a Google form during our share time. All right, so we're going to have 30 minutes to work on our reading. So please get what you need and get to work.